In a bustling city, a man earned his living selling salt to support his family. He had a wife and 2 sons. The younger son was outgoing and sharp, a natural charmer. But the elder son was different. He spoke little and avoided attention, struggling to express himself. He would often stay silent, even when he was wronged. Because of his quiet nature, people mistook his silence for a lack of intelligence. Some took advantage of his kindness, while others mocked his quiet ways. He endured it all without a single word of protest. His father, a hard-working but impatient man, saw this silence as weakness. Harsh words became a routine in their home. "Why can't you be more like your brother?" he'd demand. With every scolding, the boy's confidence cracked a little more. This fear followed him into school. During exams, his hands would shake, his mind would go blank, and the answers he knew so well would simply disappear. Slowly but surely, he began to fall behind. When he grew older, his father, seeing no other path for him, ordered him to help out at the family salt shop. Terrified of disappointing him yet again, the young man agreed. But his anxiety followed him there too. He fumbled with his words when speaking to customers and made frequent mistakes with the money. Each error fueled his father's anger, making the shop feel less like a workplace and more like a prison of his own making. One afternoon, while his father was away, a group of dishonest men walked into the shop. They spoke with an air of authority, confidently claiming they were there on behalf of the city to collect the salt for public distribution. The young man's gut screamed that something was wrong, that this wasn't right. But the fear, that old, familiar enemy, paralyzed him. It wrapped its icy fingers around his throat, and he couldn't bring himself to question them. Within minutes, the shop was empty. The men had taken everything. That evening, his father returned to a devastating sight. The shelves were bare, the salt sacks gone. His life's work had vanished. His rage erupted like a volcano. He turned on his son, his voice shaking with fury. "You've destroyed everything I worked for," he shouted. "Leave this house. Don't ever show your face here again." Those words were the final blow. They shattered what little strength the young man had left. He stumbled out into the street, the echoes of his father's words ringing in his ears. The whispers and mocking looks from the neighbors followed him like shadows. Rejected by his own family, drowning in a sea of shame, he walked numbly toward the river. His mind was a storm of self-hatred, screaming that he was useless, broken, a burden to everyone he knew. As he stood at the water's edge, ready to let go, a firm hand grabbed his arm. An old man who had been watching from a distance pulled him back from the brink. "Why did you stop me?" the young man cried, his voice choked with despair. "I fail at everything I do." The old man looked at him with calm, steady eyes. "Life isn't given twice," he said softly. "If you stay alive, you still have a chance. If you quit now, you'll never know what you could have become." The young man broke down completely, sobbing on the ground. "I'm scared of people," he confessed. "I'm not educated. Even my own father despises me. What value does someone like me even have in this world?" The old man paused, then spoke with a quiet strength. "Come with me." He led the young man to his small, peaceful home. Once inside, he looked him in the eye and said, "I will give you an answer to your question. But first, you must follow my instructions for 3 days. If you complete 3 tasks for me, I promise your life will not remain the same." Desperate for any glimmer of hope, the young man agreed. On the first day, the old man gave him his task. "Today," he said, "you will go out and talk to 10 strangers. Ask them about their lives, their joys, their struggles, and write down what you learn." Fear seized the young man. His heart pounded in his chest, but he pushed himself to do it. The first few attempts were discouraging. Some people ignored him, some just walked away. But he kept going. By nightfall, he had spoken to 10 different people, and as he wrote down their stories, he had a profound realization. Rejection hadn't killed him. It stung, but he had survived it. On the second day, the old man presented a new challenge. "Today, you will find 10 children and explain to them why water is important." The young man panicked, "But I'm not educated. I have nothing to teach anyone." The old man simply replied, "They don't know what you lack. Just speak what you know." Holding a simple glass of water, his voice trembling, he approached a group of children. He spoke about 5 simple things he knew about water. It wasn't a grand lecture, but he did it. With the next group, his voice was a little steadier. By the end of the day, his fear had noticeably weakened. On the third and final day, the old man gave him the most terrifying task of all. "Now," he said, "return to your father. Apologize for your mistake." Terror flooded back instantly. "He'll never forgive me," the young man pleaded. "He hates me." The old man's response was firm. "Then you will never hear my final lesson." Summoning every last ounce of courage he had, the young man walked back to the home he had been cast out of. He found his father, bowed his head low, admitted his failure, and promised that he would change. His father looked at him, and for the first time, he didn't see weakness. He saw a flicker of something new, courage. He agreed to give him another chance. When the young man returned to the old man, his eyes were full of questions. The old man smiled warmly. "You already found the answer yourself," he said. "Your enemy was never your shyness. It was your fear. You see, people treat you based on how you present yourself to the world. When you acted scared and small, they treated you that way. But when you acted with courage, your own father saw you differently." Confidence changes perception. Belief creates strength. Tears of understanding streamed down the young man's face. "I won't let fear control me ever again," he vowed. Years later, that once silent, terrified boy became a respected businessman. He was known not only for his sharp mind, but for the quiet confidence that radiated from him. This story shows us that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's built step by facing the things that scare you. Fear is a cage, but action is the key that sets you free. Your growth begins the exact moment you decide to move forward, despite the fear. He believed he was destined to fail. He was wrong. When you challenge your fear, your entire life begins to change. Step outside your comfort zone. Speak up, even if your voice shakes. Take a small risk. The world will start to reflect the version of yourself you choose to show it. Believe in yourself, and then watch what you become. If this story moved you, please like it and share your thoughts in the comments below, so others who need to hear this message can find it too. I'll be back with another story for you soon. Until then, stay patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward.